Despite living her best life with a mystery boo?
Her diving in that water really gave Ariel. I believe DDG is seeing Halo today, so instead of being sad inside of her hotel or wherever she's at, she decided to go out with her boo, and I know that's right.
And welcome back to StarHush, where the drama never sleeps, and neither do we. Because DDG's mama just blew the lid off everything, and when I tell you she is spiraling over Halle Bailey's new man, I mean full-on meltdown. She's hopping online, throwing heavy shade, dropping slick comments left and right. And now, word on the street is she's calling for a paternity test for Halo. Yes, you heard that right. DDG's family is out here saying they believe this new dude been in the picture way longer than anybody thought, and they're convinced he might actually be Halo's real father. It's messy, it's loud, and it's only getting crazier by the minute. Now let's talk about DDG's mom. This isn't her first time pulling up to the scene, but this time she's coming in real bold. She's practically accusing Halle of stepping out while she was still with DDG, basically saying she was double dipping behind his back. The internet is watching it all go down in real time, and the tea is boiling hot. So here's where everything really snapped. Some new vacation photos just hit the net. Yep, Halle out in Italy living it up on a yacht, hugged up with her new man like she ain't got a care in the world. And this ain't no soft launch. They're kissing, holding hands, and real cozy. Now keep in mind, she's in the middle of a whole custody battle with DDG over Halo. So everybody was thinking she was laying low, focused on her son and her career.
Okay, I have several thoughts. Number one, we all know that her and her baby daddy DDG is currently going through the whole court situation. The judge made a decision to give him a long list of terms to agree by for their custody situation, including that he cannot post Halo on social media. And we all saw him on his stream, pretty upset about it. These photos were taken in Europe, where we know that she's over there working, filming a movie. So I initially thought that it was a part of the movie. Maybe the guy's the actor. I don't know. But I do know that this was not just random paparazzi in the sky, especially for the Shade Room to exclusively be able to report this. Go ahead, girl. Live your best life.
But those pics, they flipped the whole story upside down. See, the moment those photos surfaced, people realized this wasn't just some new fling. Nah, this relationship been cooking behind the scenes for a while. Fans clocked the body language, the comfort, and you could tell this wasn't their first vacation. It wasn't long before the internet went full detective mode, trying to figure out who this man was. And guess what? It didn't take long at all. Turns out the mystery man is Scott Bridgway, a respected music producer who's worked with some of the biggest names out there, including Kendrick Lamar. But buckle in, because this is where things get extra spicy. People started digging up connections between Halle and Scott going back months, way before anybody knew they were even close. Now you've got DDG's mom jumping in, demanding answers, talking slick like Halle was out here playing her son the whole time. She's basically implying that Scott could really be Halo's biological dad, which, let's be real, is a huge accusation. And even though nobody from Halle's side has responded yet, DDG's family is moving like they already made up their minds. The fans are split too. Some are defending Halle, saying she's grown and can do what she wants. Others are dragging her, claiming this is why she kept everything so low-key. So let's get into it because things just got messier. After some serious internet sleuthing, fans started digging and boom, receipts popped up that blew everything wide open. Turns out Scott and Halle been linked way longer than anybody realized. And that soft launch everyone thought was recent? Yeah, think again. Scott Bridgway, who helped produce Kendrick Lamar's GNX album, has been moving in the same circles as Halle for months. Not only that, but word on the block is that he was part of Kendrick's tour team too. Fast forward to May, and guess who was front and center at the GNX tour stop in North Carolina? Yep, Halle! But she wasn't just there for the vibes. According to whispers, she was backstage showing full support for her new man. People are saying this wasn't no casual link-up either. She wasn't just showing face for the music, she was locked in. Some fans even caught a few flicks of her backstage, smiling extra hard, and it had the whole timeline talking. So if the timeline's right, that means this relationship was bubbling before all this DDG and custody drama hit the fan. Now this brings us to the burning question, how is DDG really feeling about all this? Because let's be real, After everything that went down between him and Halle, especially with all the drama over their son, most people thought he'd chill out, stay low, maybe find peace. But nah, DDG is not taking this well at all. He might be out here trying to play it cool online, posting like he's happy, smiling in videos, acting like he's booked and busy, but don't let the filters fool you. Behind the scenes, he's heated. The pressure's clearly getting to him because cracks are showing and quick. And now fans are connecting dots that show just how deep this runs. Remember when DDG suddenly went on a rant and threatened to end Little Rodney's music career? Yeah, that came out of nowhere and had everybody confused. Well, here's what's really going on. Word in the streets is Rodney had been chatting about Halle and her new man, and it did not sit right with DDG. Once he caught wind of those convos, he blacked out, couldn't handle the heat, and decided to lash out. That move wasn't random. It was a whole reaction to hearing his ex might be thriving with somebody new. So now, the narrative's flipped. DDG's not just dealing with heartbreak. He's out here getting triggered by anybody even mentioning Halle and Scott in the same sentence. The internet's dragging him for trying to act unbothered while clearly losing his grip in private.
I don't know if I could be post that. Hey, nigga. See, now. Alright, hey, he gonna keep it going. I'm gonna keep it going, y'all. Cause I ain't gonna lie. I wasn't even gonna follow through with what I was gonna do. But now, I'm finna put it together right now.
Now let's talk about how wild it's really getting. Because DDG ain't just feeling a little jealous over Halle moving on, he's spiraling. Like, he's out here on a full blockathon, shutting down random fans just for tweeting anything positive about Halle. And it's not like these tweets are shady or disrespectful either. One person simply posted, "Halle Bailey living her best life with her new man. I know that's right." And guess what? Blocked. No tag, no hate, just vibes. And still, DDG hit the block button like it was a reflex. The blogs caught on real quick, and now his name is trending again, but not for music, not for content, for crashing out over a girl who clearly moved on. But here's where it really gets messy, because it's not just DDG feeling the heat. Word in the streets is that his mama, Tanya, is going all the way off behind the scenes. And honestly, nobody's surprised. Tanya and Halle never exactly saw eye to eye, even back when she and DDG were still solid. Their tension was always simmering, and now that Halle's flaunting her new romance, Tanya's straight up boiling over. Sources close to the situation are saying Tanya is extra pressed. She's calling Halle disrespectful for moving on so fast, especially since the breakup is still less than a year old. But here's the kicker. Tanya's not just mad that Halle's dating someone new. She allegedly thinks Halle is out here pulling some kind of PR stunt just to get under DDG's skin. Yep, you heard that right. According to folks close to the family, Tanya is convinced that Halle linking up with Scott Bridgway is all part of a calculated plan to get back at DDG, stir up public attention, and twist the narrative in her favor. She supposedly thinks Halle is more focused on headlines than Halo. That's when the situation shifted from personal to petty. Tanya's been dropping shade all over social media, and insiders claim she's even been calling for a paternity test for Halo, insinuating that Scott might have been in the picture longer than anybody thought. Now, whether there's truth to it or not, fans are shook. Tanya's basically saying this new romance isn't just new, it's been lurking in the shadows while Halle and DDG were still together. Now you already know Tanya's been tossing low-key shade at Halle for months, but now she's done keeping it cute. It's looking like she's turning up the pressure big time, and if the word on the curb is true, she's ready to push this whole situation to the edge. The new twist? Tanya's allegedly deep in DDG's ear, urging him to get a DNA test for baby Halo. Yep, according to sources, she's been running wild with this idea that Halo might not even be DDG's biological son. And why? Because she supposedly thinks Halle was stepping out during the relationship. This is where it starts feeling like a plot straight out of a soap opera. Tanya's hinting at some secret rendezvous with Halle's new man, Scott Bridgway, long before the breakup even happened. Let's not forget, though, DDG wasn't exactly a model partner either. Back when he and Halle were still together, rumors were everywhere about him linking up with all kinds of folks, including Lala. And who knows who else he was entertaining on the low. But now that Halle's out here smiling, glowing, and living her best soft life with a new man nearly a year after their split, suddenly she's the villain? Tanya's out here flipping the whole story, acting like Halle pulled a fast one when really DDG been out here wildin' since Halle walked away. The timeline ain't even close to suspicious. But Tanya's already pushing this paternity drama like she's on a mission, and fans were not here for it. As soon as she started whispering about DNA tests and hinting at fraud, the internet clapped back with the receipts quick. People dragged Tanya for trying to paint Halle as shady when her own son's been in full chaos mode ever since the breakup. Let's be real, DDG been booed up with Lydia Love for months now, and that whole thing, straight up a circus.
I knew you weren't gonna do it. This way?
So let's really break this down. Tanya out here acting like seeing Halle kiss Scott on a yacht was the ultimate betrayal. But fans weren't letting her get away with that narrative for a second. They reminded everybody that DDG and India been out here doing way more than just kissing, and doing it all on the main stage like they're headlining a reality show. India's all over DDG, cozying up on live, being real extra with the PDA, and let's not pretend it's subtle either. She's been doing the absolute most like it's part of her brand. But funny enough, Tanya has been radio silent about that. Not a word, not a whisper. But the moment Halle pops up in a boat pic with her new man, Tanya ready to throw a whole public fit. Now let's be honest, Tanya's been waiting for a moment to crash out on Halle, and this was just the perfect excuse. This ain't new. Their tension runs deep. They've never gotten along, and the drama between them has been bubbling for a long time. But it really popped off when Halle filed that restraining order a couple months ago. Yeah, that's when things hit a different level. According to the court docs, Halle accused Tanya of enabling DDG's behavior. That set everything off. Tanya was not trying to hear that, and she definitely didn't like being called out in public like that. For example, in those same filings, Halle laid out the details of a painful moment. She claimed DDG allegedly injured her during an argument, causing a chipped tooth. And when she showed up to his family's house in tears, she says they didn't try to help her. Instead, she said they told her, just leave Halo and go. That line right there stuck with people. It said a lot about how she felt unsupported. And ever since those court details hit the streets, Tanya's been moving different. She's been dropping shade left and right, popping up in conversations, and inserting herself in a way that looks more personal than protective. Insiders are now saying Tanya's behavior ain't just about concern for her grandchild, it's about resentment. That restraining order and all those court details, that's what lit the fire. So when Halle stepped out with a new man and looked unbothered, that was the final straw. Whew, let's get into it because Tanya is still out here adding fuel to the fire. And some folks believe all that paternity test talk. Yeah, they think that's just Tanya's way of clapping back at Halle for exposing her and DDG in those court documents. And she's not even being slick about it. Remember that post Tanya tried to sneak in like the internet wasn't gonna catch it? She posted, "I don't usually comment or say anything on this internet, even with all the negativity, lies, and hatred towards mine. But these accusations made me realize I've been quiet too long." Girl, what? That message did the opposite of what she probably thought it would, because fans wasted no time pulling out receipts like they were in court, and then came Halle, not playing. She dropped screenshots showing how she had been trying to coordinate Halo's time with DDG through Tanya, only to be left on red, basically doing all the parenting alone. In one of the messages, Halle literally texted Tanya with, "Just keeping you updated. We'll be back on the 11th. Haven't heard if New still plans to get Halo like you talked about. If he's around, you can get him between the 7th and bring him back the 4th. If not, I'll keep him until we return." Now Tanya, she tried to act like DDG had his reasons, saying, "He said he would wait until you got back together." But even that was shady, like come on, what does getting back together got to do with being present for your son? But that ain't even the wildest part. After all that quiet back and forth and missed visits, Tanya still turned around and filed a whole sworn declaration in support of her son, making Halle look like the villain in this whole situation. She painted this picture of Halle being all over the place, and y'all, she really tried it. She even accused Halle of putting trackers, yes, air tags, on DDG's car, talking like Halle was out here creeping around like a secret agent. Tanya also went a step further, making some super heavy suggestions that Halle was unstable and hinting that she went through a mental health crisis. Now this part, super sad. So we're not even gonna drag that detail too hard, but it's safe to say Tanya's filing turned this already messy situation into an emotional roller coaster. All of that while the actual issue, co-parenting, just kept getting messier. Instead of being a support, Tanya's been stirring the pot with drama that's way too deep. Now let's talk about what's really got people side-eyeing Tanya. Because this whole paternity test situation, the timing could not be more shady. Just 1 week ago, she was out here talking about how much she wanted to be in Halo's life, filing motions, begging the court for grandparent rights, trying to be the one supervising DDG's visits. Seriously, she was campaigning like she deserved a Grandma of the Year trophy, talking about she just wants what's best for her son's son. But now, she's flipping the whole script like she's not even sure Halo belongs to the family. What in the backpedal is going on here? Fans are peeping the switch up and they're not letting it slide. Like, how are you gonna say that's my grandbaby 1 week, then turn around and suggest he might not be your blood the next? That energy's not adding up. It's messy and folks are calling her out heavy for it. Truth is, some people are saying Tanya's only acting out because the court didn't side with her. Let's not forget, Halle specifically fought to block Tanya from being the one to oversee DDG's visits with Halo. And that battle in court, it got tense real fast. You remember how DDG's lawyer Barry Bachman tried to pull a slick move and requested Tanya be the designated supervisor during his visits? They really thought that plan was going to fly under the radar, like it wouldn't get challenged. But Halle's team, oh, they were ready. Her attorney, Jeremy Lane, shut it down before it could even get started. He told the judge straight up, Tanya can't be trusted to stay neutral or keep things fair. And let's be honest, he wasn't lying. Halle's been saying from the beginning that Tanya does nothing but cover for DDG, look the other way when things go wrong, and let his behavior slide when she should be stepping in. That's exactly why Halle pushed for full custody in the first place. And guess what? The judge agreed DDG can still have time with Halo, but only if it's supervised by a licensed professional with no ties to either side. Tanya, she got benched. So now it's real obvious why Tanya's on social media throwing shade, dropping side comments, and stirring the pot. She's not just upset, she's hurt. But instead of dealing with it privately, she's letting the drama play out online for the world to see. So let's just keep it a buck. Tanya demanding a paternity test right after Halle went public with her new man. That wasn't random, that was strategic. It's giving bitter ex-in-law energy, like how you go from wanting court-approved time with your grandson to turning around and acting like you don't even know if he belongs in your bloodline. Make it make sense. And let's not forget, Tanya's been knee-deep in this mess from the jump, from social media shade to courtroom drama to playing both sides like she's not part of the problem. Now all of a sudden, she's spinning a whole new narrative about Halle being unfaithful and hiding secrets. Girl, if you were that concerned, why were you begging the judge for visitation rights just a week ago? The internet's not buying the sweet grandma act no more. Fans already caught on. This ain't about Halo. This is about Tanya trying to get revenge because she got benched. She lost her spot, and now she's grasping for attention in the messiest way possible. And let's be real, if Tanya is spiraling this hard just from a yacht pic and a little vacation glow up, imagine how wild it's gonna get if Halle actually takes this new man seriously. Or worse, if he starts stepping into that father figure role, whew! At the end of the day, Halle's been real quiet. No interviews, no clapbacks, no drama baiting captions. Just living her life, moving in peace. But don't confuse her silence for weakness, because the second she decides to drop her side, those receipts might just shake the internet straight out of orbit. Now here's the real question. Do you think Tanya's paternity accusations are coming from real concern? Or is this just messy revenge after losing control? Let me know in the comments. I want to hear what the stars think. And of course, don't forget to hit that like button, smash subscribe, and turn on that notification bell so you don't miss a single twist in this roller coaster. We're just getting started. And if this is the beginning, imagine what part 2 is gonna look like. Catch you on the next one, my stars. Stay messy, stay woke, and keep your tea hot with StarHush.